Hello, this is Ken Ferrie with this week's Boots in the Field report. Wow, what a big week in corn planting. Many guys finished or within a day or two of finishing. Almost everyone received some rain. The reports coming in from 4/10 to over 4 inches. So some guys are going back in the field today. Many areas, I guess we'll probably be held out till Sunday or Monday depending on more rainfall. This rain was a blessing in many places. We had too much seed in dry soil. Now, rain covers up a lot of mistakes and it definitely will reduce the number of service calls we'll have to make. I am seeing some good bean stands. This crop is started to pick up steam. Most fields are reaching that unifoliate stage ahead of that critical photo period. Again, indicating we'll have some early flowering, setting us up for some pretty good yield potential. We did have some fields that got hailed on, but so far what I'm seeing, we're going to be okay. The stems are in good shape. They haven't been cut off below the cotyledons. Most corn stands look good, but one must stretch a tape before you really know. Of course, that's assuming you want to know. No one can tell the difference between 28,000 and 36,000 stand from the truck. No one can tell the difference between 34,000 ear count and 26,000 ear count from the truck. On this early planted corn, let's stretch a tape and count plants and projected ear counts. Any plant that is more than a collar behind the plant next to it is going to produce a small ear or no ear at all, and it shouldn't be counted into your ear count. Remember, as we start doing the early stand evaluations, ear counts usually go down from here and never go up. The early stand and ear counts should be compared to your goal. What were you trying to achieve? The industry average is a drop of about 13% from planted to final ear count. Stand and ear counts should be recorded for each field and hybrid you plant. These numbers should be cataloged for future use and referenced as the year proceeds. And as we reveal yields at the yield map season this fall, those counts come in handy. When we're frustrated with a hybrid's performance at the yield map meeting, but we don't have stand establishment numbers to work on, man, it's kind of hard to pin things down. When a grower says the stand was poor, poor is different from one grower to the next. Let's work with actual numbers. We give an A+ rating to stands that have an ear count within 6% of the planted population. I realize this is a hard task to accomplish. You're not going to achieve it on every field every year, but this is where the big corn yields start. Many times a grower will ask, what can I do to take my yields to the next level? When I ask how close are their ear counts to their planted population, they'll respond with, I don't know, pretty close. This means the stand counts were done from the truck seat. Before we buy another planter attachment or add some special sauce to get to the next level, let's start with good stand evaluations now. Moving your ear count from the standard 13% drop up to a 6% drop will add 15 bushel to the final yield. While the majority of the cornfields are looking good, we do have some decisions on the ones that don't, now that we have moisture that we're going to have to make. Last week, without our moisture, growers with fields in that 7 to 10,000 off their targeted ear count really had few options. Tearing it up and replanting it without moisture is too risky. We now have moisture, and these fields need to be addressed, especially when it's only May 10th. We don't want to give up that much yield this early. Growers stretching the tape and finding disappointing stands are asking, was it poor seed or seed chilling? They're finding seeds misfiring and seeds emerging 2 collars behind the rest. The answer is all the above. Some seed chilling, some seed quality issues, seed orientation issues, some probably got clipped by the frost. Many of the late emergers are from being planted spike down when it took 3 weeks to get this corn out of the ground. I think some of our best corn stands went in this week. We'll need to watch for any crust developing on these timber soils, but I do believe as fast as this corn is coming, it will emerge before we see a crust. In some cases this week, growers had to push large amounts of dry soil to find the moisture to plant into. If those fields receive some of these 4-inch rain events, they'll need to be watched closely. They may need some hoeing to get them up. Pest teams, you'll see bean leaf beetle feeding this week, but with so many early beans out there, I don't think it'll be a problem. If you have a field that's kind of isolated off by itself and a lot of corn around it, not very much beans, keep an eye on those. We'll see some of the first cutworm feeding this week. Look for the shot holes in the leaves, but the big pressure still won't be for a couple of weeks. Again, I see a lot of beans in the unifoliate stage by May 10th, meaning we should see a lot of early flowering on most maturity groups. This will set us up for potential for strong yields. We just need the rest of the growing season to cooperate. Soon the side dress season will start. Many will be pulling nitrates to know just where they stand on soil N. When you fill out your nitrate submittals, be sure to update what you have done for applied fertility, population, and yield goal. Yield goal and population are important in our nitrogen recommendation. Yeah, I know, you've read and heard 270 bushel corn takes the same amount of N, applied N, as 170 bushel corn when you base it off of the price of corn and the price of N. But that is not how our VRT recommendations work. Population and yield are important. The most important thing for everyone doing VRT side dress is to fill out the side dress submittals, whether you plan on pulling nitrates or not, so we can balance the checkbook from what was planned to what actually happened. At this point, I do expect we'll see an N-friendly spring, but we'll know for sure when the first rounds of nitrates start coming in. We here at CropTech want to wish all the moms out there a very wonderful Mother's Day and thank you for all that you do. For all the dads and farm kids out there, do what you think best when it comes to planting on Mother's Day. But I must warn you, Mother Nature doesn't seem to like it when we do that. Just saying. Crews are pounding away on the summer testing. If you haven't turned in your testing needs, this rain out would be a good time to get it done. It makes a lot more efficient program for us if we can clean up your acres when we're in the area. To stay up to date, check out our website at croptechinc.com and subscribe to our podcast, Boots in the Field Report. Keep her safe, keep her moving.